Travis went good so. I was just woken up early. Earlier today, I was in a discussion with one of my subscribers about suing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for breach of contract. The breach of contract would come from 19 July 1840. For Zion and Jerusalem must both be built up before the coming of Christ. How long will it take to do this? 10 years? Yes. More than 40 years will pass before this work will be accomplished, and when these cities are built, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. This subscriber's idea may actually be brilliant. It can work, and I can still do it because it is a different lawsuit subject matter than the previous two. Now it's likely to lose because the church is not allowed to be sued, and the federal court is all compromised to the church. But this has merit because this is required to have been put in the 1844 Doctrine and Covenants, but was not. And there's elements in here that were put into the Doctrine and Covenants, like referring to section 101's parable, starting in verse 43. This is very interesting. And I could even put in the common dismissal claim by the church. They love to argue no claim upon which relief may be granted, according to Rule 8a. And so I could just put in Rule 8a and put in the claim upon which relief may be granted to bypass that little argument of theirs. A simple statement: failure to meet contractual obligation. This has merit because tithing is for the purpose of building Zion. And they've failed to build Zion before the latter-day time period. The last days, as I've been going over with you, is from the Book of Mormon, which comes from the Book of Revelation, which is a time period of 7 years, technically 8, because 2017 to 2024. Oh, yeah, it's trying to come alive. You'd count 2017. Well, because the church literally has broken their contract with Mormons. Their covenant. contractual agreement. A great and mighty mountain as a city set upon a hill. The mountain cities of Zion and New Jerusalem. Because obviously they can't build Jerusalem. That's not what's being referenced here. It's New Jerusalem. Yeah, and it's supposed to be done before the coming of Christ. And in the Mormon Church, it's not the Christ of the Christians. It's the Christ under the learning of the Jews, which is a mortal man, which is the office of Joseph Smith, which is the first president of the church, which is currently Russell M. Nelson, which it was supposed to be built before Russell M. Nelson took office. By 2017, when Monson was to die in 2018 and Nelson takes over. Failed. Oops. I could do this. Technically, it could be a class action lawsuit, but that would require lots of people to join in, and ex-Mormons could likewise join in, because you left the church because the church failed to contractually meet their obligations to you. And here's the purpose for this. They are placing our lives in jeopardy because of their failure to meet this contractual agreement. So there's harm being caused. Section 45, 66. And it shall be called the New Jerusalem, a land of peace, a city of refuge, a place of safety for the saints of the Most High God. And it shall come to pass among the wicked, every man that will not take his sword against his neighbor must needs flee unto Zion for safety. It'll be the only people that shall not be at war one with another. Where is it? They failed to meet their contractual obligation by the time period required. And as a result, all Mormons and ex-Mormons, everybody who's been in the church, have been denied a land of peace, a city of refuge, a place of safety, as the promised violence, insecurity, and financial instability has occurred. The virus prophesied has occurred, and we don't have a city for safety from it. Did you know that this same chapter also tells us that we were expecting a virus? And there shall be men standing in that generation, verse 31, same section, 45, that shall not pass until they shall see an overflowing scourge, for a desolating sickness shall cover the land. And that comes from Moses with the Exodus. That was the final plague. A virus swept through. all prophesied, all known about in advance, and the church broke their contractual obligation to protect us. We've been paying their tithing, and they failed to meet their part of the agreement. We paid for fire insurance. That's what we call it. I'm seriously considering this. Very seriously considering this. It has merit. And even if, and even when, the judges agree with the church, it'll still be in the public domain. This has merit. Because that talk, 19 July 1840, came from the Joseph Smith papers. It's just Brigham Young refused to publish it. And I'm sure it has nothing to do with... Where are you? Yeah. But before this, the time shall be, these who are now my friends shall become my enemies, and shall seek to take my life. And there are those now before me who will more furiously pursue me, more diligently seek my life, and be more bloodthirsty upon my track than ever were the Missouri mobbers. You say among yourselves, as did them of old, is it I, and is it I? This is why it was not put in our Doctrine and Covenants, because sure enough, they did seek his life, and did take it, and purposely refused to meet the obligation contractually obliged for which we pay tithing to. This has merit. I'm seriously considering this. Because I can't file the same lawsuits again. Been denied. But this has merit. This is different. Stay tuned. Because I already know how to contact the lawyers now. I know to put in Rule 8A in the beginning to satisfy the demands that they're claiming needs to be done in violation of the Pro Se Litigant Guide that does not have that. And, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I can comply with the previous demands and then slam them with this. Because it's right here. So, yeah, because tithing is literally what they've chosen, thanks to Lorenzo Snow, to build Zion. And the Temple Covenant, all that we possess, to the building up of Zion, which is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, latter days. It's the latter days, according to the dating of the signs in the heavens from Revelation. This is it. This is now. No Zion. This has merit for all ex-Mormons too. Consider that, guys. We could all file lawsuits at the same time, even. I could go over with you how to do that. You know, show you the forms and show you how to fill it out. If you're not under the poverty line, there will be a filing fee. But you might want to consider this, even as an ex-Mormon. Stay tuned.